Welcome to this video about how to research for sources in biology. A library guide is available for each subject at LSC-Montgomery, including biology. The guide includes information on APA citations and recommended databases and websites for research. We will look at this guide during the video. There are three main types of sources that you will use for your assignment. The first is primary sources, which can include original research studies, case studies, or other first-hand information. These sources can be found through article databases. The second source type is a tertiary source, which compiles other sources. One example is an encyclopedia entry, which has general information on a topic. These sources are found in reference databases. Finally, peer-reviewed sources are reviewed by experts before they are published. These sources are also found in article databases. Sources are usually broken down into two types, scholarly and non-scholarly sources. Scholarly sources have usually been through the peer review process. In peer review, sources are evaluated by experts in the field. This is the peer review process. First, the author researches and writes the article. Then they select a journal in their field and submit their article. The journal removes all identifying information about the author, and then it is submitted to the review committee. This ensures that there's no bias that could be applied to the review. After the review committee analyzes the article, they make a recommendation. They could either publish the article automatically, which means that everything's fine with it. They could ask the author to revise it, which is pretty common, and then the author would need to edit the article and then resubmit. Or the panel could outright reject the article, which means that it's not okay for publication. So when you find peer-reviewed articles, you know that they have gone through this peer review process and are of a higher quality, and they have been evaluated thoroughly. When looking for articles, it's important to develop a search strategy. It allows you to find relevant, accurate sources for your assignment. There are 3 steps to this process. First, you will identify the main keywords from your topic, then brainstorm like terms to get a few other terms you can search, and finally choose the best terms and connect them with Boolean logic for more accurate searching. Keywords can be developed from a variety of sources, including prior knowledge on a topic, information from a reference source such as an encyclopedia, or from other sources like assignments or websites. Once you have a few keywords, brainstorm synonyms and like terms to search a variety of terms. This will allow for deeper searching and more article results. The search we will do today is on breast cancer. You can see a few of the terms on the left which I can use to search for resources. To search the database more effectively, use Boolean logic. And is the first Boolean operator, found on the left side of the screen. This narrows your search. All of the terms that you have separated by and must appear in the search results, which will make the articles fewer. For example, we're looking at breast cancer in treatment. Both of these terms have to appear in the search results. With OR, the middle Boolean operator, it will have at least one of the search terms in the results, so this will expand your search. In this case, we would like to have MRI or magnetic resonance imaging. Either of these terms could be represented in the results, so we want to use OR to see which of the terms is a preferred term or used in the article results. Finally, not on the far right will take away a term, so it will make the search results smaller. In this case, we're looking for treatment, so we do not want to look for the other term. If you use not, it will remove the term after not from your search results. You can use Boolean operators again to expand or narrow your search to find articles that work with your topic. Another way to make the search more effective is by using phrase searching. When quotations are put around a phrase, the database is forced to search for that exact phrase and the results are better defined. I would recommend, if you're getting weird results or something doesn't make sense, see if any of your terms can be made into phrases, and this will allow for more accurate searching. Here are 3 more examples of searching methods. The first is truncation, when an asterisk is placed on the end of a root word. The database then searches for results with variations of the root word. For example, genetic will find genetic, genetics, or genetically. It will expand your search results. A wildcard can also be used in searching to replace a letter within a word. It will search for varieties on a word, as in this example, when the results could include either women or woman. Finally, the near operator, the capital M with a number symbol, will search for words in number of words apart. The number can be any number, but it is usually numbers 1 to 5. In this case, we are looking for articles that include the keyword health and include the word career 5 words after the word health. This can be used in advanced searching to find specific articles. Now that we have discussed how to search efficiently in the databases and use a variety of advanced search tips, I will show you how to search the databases for sources. When looking for sources, you can find both reference works or regular articles. Reference works, including encyclopedias or other background information on a topic, can be found in these reference databases: Credo Reference and Gale and Context Science. To find articles on a disease, I recommend CINAHL Plus with full text and Gale Health Source. If you need additional help with research, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can see a variety of ways to contact a librarian through chat, email, phone, or by scheduling a research appointment. Now we will take a look at the library website, and I will show you how to get to some of these resources. First, you will start on lonestar.edu and choose the library's link at the top of the page. Once you are on this main page, you will see under the banner a couple things: the library catalog, where you can find books, DVDs, or other print items; research databases, which is where you can go to find those databases I mentioned earlier. First, however, we are going to go to the Montgomery Library website. To do so, scroll down to the bottom and you will see research guides. Here you will be able to see the LSC-Montgomery guide. Once you are on the Montgomery guide, you will see on the left there are a variety of ways you can get in contact with different departments at the STAR Center, which is where the library is part of. Today we are going to look at a specific subject guide that I will show you. To find subject guides, look underneath the banner and you will see a list of subject guides. You will navigate to the Biology Research Guide and hit Go. This guide includes information on how to find sources, how to start searching, and how to use sources. First, with getting started, this guide will show you examples on how to select a topic, how to do background research, and how to develop keywords. For finding sources, we have a variety of sources you can find, including books, articles, and websites. If you choose the articles link, you will see there is a database video. The articles tab will give you a lot of different articles you can use to find different databases. And then we have reference and background articles available in these databases here. We also have a variety of other databases you can look through. Just remember, when you're looking at your sources, you need to evaluate them. So definitely keep in mind these 5 things when you're looking at sources to make sure they're credible and relevant to your topic. The Use Your Sources tab on the left will connect you to the right place, which is where you can ask for writing assistance if you need help. And we do have a tab that also links out to the citation guide. This guide will help guide you if you need help with citations with APA. We have the main citation styles on the guide. With the APA citation style, you can look at this first part to look at how to format your document, how to do in-text citations, and a reference list. Feel free to use this guide when you're looking at the citations. There are also citation examples underneath our main citation style tab, and we have just the main ones: books, articles, periodicals, and web sources. For each, there will be a basic template and then an example that we have gathered from the citation guide. Along with this guide, there is a tab for research help, so you may contact me directly, or if you scroll down, there are other ways to get in contact, including at the reference desk, phone, text, or email, through instant chat on the main library page, or through a research meeting. You can also scroll down to see all of the full-time librarians that work at LSC-Montgomery. Now that I have showed you how to get to the resource portal page for Montgomery, I'm going to go back to the main library page and show you how to search a couple of the databases. We're going to go over to the research databases on the banner. Here you will see we have arranged them by subject. This is a lot easier for you to find what you're looking for as we have over 300 databases. For this assignment, I would recommend you go to the Health and Medicine tab and click that link. As I said, we have arranged all the databases in here under Health and Medicine. I'm going to show you one database for each type of research, including a reference database and an article database. To find reference works, click the second tab and you will see all of these pop up. We're going to go to Credo Reference. Within Credo, you can find a variety of background information about a topic, and it will help you generate keywords that you can use when you're searching. We're going to do a very broad search today for breast cancer. Once you search Credo Reference, then you will see on the right there is a map that appears, and these are all the different keywords that are part of this main term. When you are doing your searches, I would recommend look at a couple of these terms, see if you can get more specific, and use whatever keywords you find in Credo to search the article databases. On the left, you will see there is a variety of sources, including encyclopedias and different information. So you can look at any of these and they will give you information about the topic. You will see key concepts underneath any of the articles, and they will be different things that you can link out to. You can see that there are references, definitions, and pro-con articles if you're interested in looking for that. You can also navigate Credo Reference from the main page under the Health and Medicine area and choose any of these different tabs. For example, if I choose pregnancy, it's going to do the same thing, and these are the main terms within Credo. Again, use Credo to find background information about a topic and to develop new keywords that you can use to search. I'm going back to our main research databases page, and I'm going to look at the articles drop-down. There are many articles that you can find in these databases. I would recommend when you're searching, look at least 1 or 2 databases. Sometimes journals may not be in one and may be in the other. So definitely take your time to see what articles are available in both databases. If you do run into issues after about 10 minutes of searching, I would recommend at that time to reach out to a librarian and ask for help with research. We are going to look at CINAHL Plus with full text in this video. When searching this article database, I would recommend that you use the advanced search. This will allow you to have additional terms and to use Boolean operators if you desire. Also, it will allow you to limit more effectively to what you're searching for. We are going to start again with a very broad search so I can show you what this database includes. Go ahead and type in your terms. You can select any field. For example, if you're looking for a title or an author, you can choose that. If you're doing basic keyword searching, you can leave it optional. You can see on the left there are some Boolean operators that you can use. Feel free to use any of these if you need to make your search wider or smaller. There are additional search options below. For example, you can limit to full text. You can choose a peer-reviewed article, which is what we're going to do today, and you can choose a publication date. For our search, I will do about the last 10 years. I'm just inputting the years here. If you keep scrolling down, you can see there are different ways to narrow your search. For example, evidence-based practice, you can ask for any or one of the authors to be a nurse. And you can see different clinical queries on the left and also age groups. So feel free to use any of these advanced search methods when you are searching the database. I'm going to go ahead and search now that I've limited to my date range and to peer-reviewed articles. Once you're in the database, you can see we have over 62,000 articles, and that's because I did a very broad search. If you need to narrow your search when you're on the main page, look at the left Refine Results sidebar. You can see the current search here, and if you scroll down some, then you'll be able to see subjects. So subjects are different keywords that you can use to narrow your search. You can choose any of the ones from the top, or you can click the Show More link, and that will take you into something called a subject box. This subject box again will help you narrow in on a topic. You can see on the left the keyword, and then on the right is the hit count, and that's how many articles have that keyword in your search results. If I continue scrolling down, I'm going to choose something that's a little bit smaller so I don't have a ton of results. So I'm going to look at patient attitudes. That has about 559 results, and again, I'm searching breast cancer and patient attitudes towards that. Once you choose what you're looking for, hit update, and that will update your search to include that search term. Anytime you add to your search, look back at the refined results sidebar and you will see what has been added to your search. When looking at the articles, you can see the title, information about each of the articles, and then there will also be a list of subjects, and those are the ones we just saw. They're pulled from these lists. To see the article, you can hover over this magnifier glass to the right, and it will give you subjects and an abstract. I would recommend reading the abstract first before linking into the full text or to the article record, as it will give you an idea of if it fits with your topic. If I am interested in one of these, I can go ahead and open the link, and then on the left you will see sometimes there will be an HTML full text, which means you can read it in your browser, and other times there will be a PDF that you can download. In the middle you'll see all the information about the article, and then a lot of times the HTML article will show up here within the main part of the page. On the right side you can see there are a variety of tools. You can send it to your Google Drive, OneDrive, make a folder, print, email, save. You can export the article, and you can get a permanent link. There is also a cite button. In all the databases, it automatically cites the article, so you can just select the article citation and save it to your document. However, I would recommend if you do this, definitely double check. Look at the citation guide, look at any kind of resource that gives you citation styles, and make sure it's correct before you actually use it in your assignment. If you cannot locate an article, please email one of the librarians and we will help you find it. You can also limit to full text within the main search on the left if you'd like to only look at the articles that are available through the database. Again, you can go from the main library homepage and look at all of the research articles and databases under the Health and Medicine header. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact any of the librarians at LSC-Montgomery.